Hi, this is Coach Judith from Quarantine Coding Club. This is yet another episode, and we are. First, let me just introduce myself, and then I'll tell you a little bit about what we're going to do. I have been a teacher of coding for about 6 years, and I have been doing this online just for a few days because all of our lives have changed. What we're going to be doing is we're going to be watching a video that my coworker Steven made, and we're going to be chatting about it if you're in my live class, or you might be doing some assignments if you're in my Udemy class. So here goes. Let's watch.
I'm in my car right outside the grocery store right now. To give you the high-level idea, I want to be able to track how many people go into and out of the grocery store down the street from where I live.
Okay, so Steven is at the grocery store in the car and thinking about how many of us have been to the grocery store in the past few weeks or maybe haven't. And any different things that you're doing when you go to the grocery store that maybe you have or haven't done in the past. I know that I have some ideas of things that are different. And so let's see what Steven is thinking. All right, so that was a little hint. Steven is thinking about information. Let's watch. All right, so this was filmed towards the end of March in San Diego when there were 300 confirmed cases of COVID-19 in San Diego. But Steven is now saying that means there are 3,000 people who are sick. So there are 300 that are confirmed, but Steven thinks there are 3,000 who are sick. Let's think about how would Steven have come to that conclusion? Let's keep watching. Does Steven look like a computer scientist? He kind of looks like a spy. So he's telling us he went to the grocery store to get some information. So didn't you kind of think he was going to the grocery store to get groceries? Steven's also trying to design a solution. So he's trying to get information and he's trying to design a solution. So I don't think this actually has anything to do with Steven getting groceries, at least not today. Let's keep watching. Oh, now I see. Steven wants to go to the grocery store when it's safe. So pre-COVID-19, you could just go to the grocery store. You could just go anywhere, and you knew it was pretty safe to just go in. But things have changed because we all know about social distancing. We have to stay far apart from one another, meaning we don't have a lot of people in a small space. So in order to know if it's safe, Steven needs to get some information. So he is watching.
So one person just walked in one door. So I would count that as a 1.
All right, Steven is making a database. For those of you who haven't heard that term before, a database is just a whole bunch of information. When you have a whole bunch of information, you can sort it in lots of different ways and learn lots of stuff. But you need to get the information, and Steven is using just plain old paper to get his information.
In my database. It's currently 10:42, March 26th. I would give that a 1, but it's not 10:45 yet. So I'm not going to record it. I'm just going to make a space so that every 15 minutes I'm going to record the number in and the number out. And we can...
So look at how carefully Steven is getting that information. It's really important when you're gathering information that you be accurate. Even if you're just using a piece of paper and a pen, Stephen's a computer scientist. He could use a lot of different tools to be gathering information, but he's just using a simple piece of paper and a pen. But the more important thing isn't the tool, it's the data.
Use that later to calculate how many people went in to the store and how many people went out, and roughly how many people there are at any given time. And I'm going to do that for 15-minute increments starting now, so at 11. What I'm doing here is no more difficult than a high school science fair project.
All right, Stephen is talking about a high school science fair project. Some of you watching this video may not be as old as high schoolers yet. Some of you may be. But there's all kinds of science projects that you could do at all ages in your education. And I think that's something that we can think about, different topics that we've studied and how our science fair projects, or even science that we've done in a classroom with a teacher, how it is similar and how it is not similar to what Stephen's doing here.
This is not hard. All I'm doing is recording data. I'm just doing it intentionally with a mission.
Do you think it matters if your database is pretty? I don't think it matters.
That's it. That's my database right now. Now it just needs data. 2 more in. 3 out. 2 in. 11 o'clock. I don't see anyone walking in, so I'm going to do a quick totaling of the data so far. So that's 5, 10, 15, 21. So it's 21 in. 5, 10, 15, 20. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, okay, so that should be like that. That one's not real, so 20 out.
Okay, so we just saw Stephen having some trouble with his data. So his database isn't pretty. And also now the concern is maybe the data isn't so accurate. So it's really important when you're creating a database that your data be accurate. So the question is, was it 20 people that left or was it 21 people that left? That is a good question.
Interesting. So actually 1045, same number in, same number out, almost. So there should only be 1 extra person there. Writings don't have to look pretty. This is a writing that will create other writings. Don't overthink that stuff.
Okay, so don't overthink what it looks like. Make sure your data is accurate, though.
That was so weird. I just ran into 2 of my former students right here. And
Okay, so we are all practicing social distancing, and yet sometimes we run into people that we know. We've been doing a lot of walking in our neighborhood with our dog, and we're seeing all of our neighbors because everybody is out walking right now because that's really all that we can do to get out of our houses. So, and it's kind of exciting when you see another person that you recognize now, isn't it?
And since I haven't been inside, I asked for their opinion about just roughly how many people are in there, because although I'm recording how many people go in and out, I actually don't know how many people were in there in the beginning. That's a missing piece of data.
All right, so Stephen is talking about a missing piece of data. So that is one missing piece of data, is how many people were there to begin with. There are some other missing pieces of data that we can think about to determine if it is safe to go into the grocery store. Not just how many went in and out, not just how many were there to begin with, but there are other things that we can think about that are important that we need to know in order to know if it's safe.
I'm just trying to track the traffic going in. But here's the estimation that came from Jacob, my former coding student. Hey, sorry. So how many people would you say were in there just now when you came out?
Maybe about 20 to 30 people.
Okay. All right, cool. Yeah, thanks.
All right, so that was a little help from a friend, as they say. Stephen getting some information about how many people were in that store, and that maybe helps him get a little more information about how accurate his database is. We're going to hand it over now to my friend Sunny.